The first mindset that you need to adopt in becoming a great investor is getting the idea that wealth and income are not the same thing. If we look at wealth versus income, wealth is ultimately what you want to generate. It is far more important than a high income. And to illustrate, let's examine the stories of two men, both of whom lived in the United States, but that's basically where the similarities end. Latrell Sprewell was a famous basketball player. I think he even went to the All-Star game a couple times. He earned over his lifetime approximately $100 million. Contrast that with a gentleman named Ronald Read. He worked at a gas station and for a janitor. So if we just say he earned even $50,000 a year, which I think is probably a stretch. Let's say he earned $50,000 a year and worked for 40 years. That would be a lifetime earning of about $2 million, and I think this is probably inflated. Clearly, when it comes to income, Latrell Sprewell earned probably conservatively 50 times more than Ronald Read. So when it comes to income, Latrell Sprewell clearly wins this competition. However, wealth is what you actually accumulated. And when it comes to accumulation, Latrell Sprewell did not do a good job. He famously turned down a contract of a couple $1 million from the Minnesota Timberwolves because he said he needed to feed his family. And the $21 million or whatever they were offering him was not enough to do that, apparently. So Sprewell's expensive tastes and overall poor financial management netted him an estimated net worth, and again, this is from online sources, whatever, so I don't know if this is trustworthy, but $150,000 is what sources estimate Latrell Sprewell is currently worth. And we contrast that with Ronald Read. Now, Ronald Read, no one knew this whenever he passed away. He would basically wear the same clothes, go to the same diner, order cheap meals. He was a pretty frugal guy, but he amassed a net worth of $8 million at his death. So when it comes to wealth, Ronald Read absolutely dominated Latrell Sprewell. So here we see the difference. A high income doesn't necessarily lead to a high net worth, and a relatively low income does not necessarily lead to a low net worth. So in the next video, we're going to talk about the one thing that I think Ronald Read understood at a very young age that Latrell Sprewell did not. And that single thing is the difference between their net worths.